mentioned employees and kind of job security and confidence and things. What impact as manufacturers is the nebulous question of the free movement of trade and workers and people likely to have in terms of actually having people to produce these things? Obviously, there's a lot of construction manufacturing done by people from the EU who've come over here.
Probably more worried about the contracting side and actually using the product out in the marketplace.
So that's where the concern is for me.
I don't think it's in the employees within manufacturing in the UK. It's more
the construction
actually people using the product to make something.
We move people around. We've just taken a guy out of France and put him into a plant in South Wales as a maintenance engineer on a 3-year placement. We'll still do it. It just means that the HR team will have to jump through more hoops if they change the regulation.
Yeah. So it's not likely to stop people from doing it. It just means there'll be visas and paperwork to do instead. Yeah.
Although I think when the vote did come out, our guys in the factory immediately thought they had to go home.
Yeah.
So we did have a bit of man management work to do. So
I agree with you with that.
You know?
Yeah, the sentiment in the days after the vote was, and some of the things that happened, didn't make me very proud to be British, to be honest.
No.
I would question whether the UK is as attractive to bring skills in now as it was. I mean, we've certainly been trying to attract wood machinists into our facilities, and particularly looking at some Polish workers, and we've seen a fall off on people actually wanting to be considered to move to the UK. So I think that has an implication, because we know we've got some skill shortages anyway.
Yes.
I think absolutely. If I was Polish, then I'd be thinking, well, do I really want to move myself, my family over there for what might be a relatively short-term thing?
I think there's another area as a distributor. Part of our operational efficiency is transport, and certainly the transport rates, getting good drivers, especially the further south in the country you go, that's becoming an issue. And good drivers, you think, well, actually any old chap can drive a vehicle. Well, if you get Mr. Average, then your company reputation is potentially shot. So I think there is an issue there that we see with some degree of concern at the moment.
That issue was there before Brexit, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
But this is certainly not going to help.
Brexit isn't helping it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's what I think, as you said, Nigel, actually making us less attractive as a prospective place to move, and certainly if you are interested in coming here, potentially much harder to do and take longer with visas and things, which presumably we'll have at some stage.
But the big concern will be: is there enough labour to build the houses? Even if we can get them into the factories and processes and do that, but physically on the building sites, carpenters and joiners and stuff. That certainly is a concern.
To some extent, I think this also is covered by the Brexit bounce, where you get the vote happened, everybody got a shock, confidence plummeted, sterling went wild, people behaved badly. Polish people thought, bloody hell, I'm going home, I'm not coming here, and so on. But confidence has been bouncing back very strongly. I don't know what GfK are going to come up with, but I mean, retail sales have really lifted very, very strongly. I think some of the people who put in the gloomiest forecasts have actually been putting in much more positive forecasts. The Bank of England now expects things in the Treasury to be pretty okay, I think. And we just had a sort of backdoor bit of information on that one. So I think people are actually bouncing back. And I think when it comes down to it, the Poles may well feel it's still worthwhile coming here, because actually we still have this view that, we're the bad boys, we're in trouble, Europe's fine, and so on. I don't think that's the case at all. I spend quite a lot of time reading what people in Europe are actually saying, and actually there's an awful lot of gloom and despondency there, because although we're going through a period of great turbulence, they're actually in a slow grind, and there's some really intractable problems there. So I think people in Poland may well feel that actually this isn't a bad place to be. But, you know, the sort of the 3 months of change actually just panicked absolutely everybody. And I just think people are getting back to business as normal.
That seems to me like a fairly good time to move on to the second topic.
Just before you do, Jenny,
yes, of course.
would you like me to elaborate on that?
I would. I mean, how big a hint do I have to give you?
So by the House of Lords, by any chance?
May well be. So our chairman had dinner on Tuesday last week with the current occupant of number 11 and a few others. And the view from Mr. Hammond post-Brexit, and I'll have to read some of this because he spoke quite a lot, was that in his opinion the country is in a very good shape, not in or heading towards recession, and equally not in boom mode. In fact, in a solid place from which we can confidently continue to grow at a sensible pace. In his words, and perhaps more importantly, the world economy is steadying. Overall, his opinion was that the next few years will be good for business.
Then you could say he would say that.
Yeah, I agree.
So there's a little bit of...
Did he put a caveat until the American elections? Or?
Possibly so. I think we pushed a little harder then to try and make it more specific to construction. And his comments were that he intended to look hard soon, I guess alluding to the budget statement in autumn, at both construction and infrastructure to keep business on track. And the political rumour around that evening was that he will favour construction spending over a VAT reduction. So if you want a good end point, that's from...
That works. Well, as I think we've said, that would be a very sensible thing for them to do under the circumstances. Thank you very much.